Morning, Steve Freed in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, overnight prices in the grains are kind of mixed to unchanged. I think the outside markets are also relatively quiet with the dollar higher. Crude's trading around $37 a barrel. I think the markets are trying to wait for some news on the U.S. budget and in the grains if they're going to have a biofuel blend credit. We're also waiting news from the new Argentine government, what they're going to do on their currency and ag export policy. And then we're waiting to see what the Fed action is going to be and if they raise interest rates. Seems like yesterday there was a lot of volatility in the marketplace as traders got out of positions in fear of what it might mean when the Fed starts raising interest rates here in the U.S. And so we'll see if that continues as we get closer to that Fed meeting. Analysts took a shot at the USDA supply and demand numbers yesterday. Most of them look for the final soybean carryout to be somewhere between 500 and 550 million bushels versus the government's 465. Could be a combination that the final crop is a little bit bigger and that demand might be a little bit smaller. The first guesstimates for next year, a crop of 3790 and a carryout as big as 650. So that is negative to prices if we see that type of weather and that type of crop. For corn, a slight increase, somewhere between 1,800 and 1,900 is the analyst guess. The government's 1,785. Again, the crop could be bigger and demand could be a little bit smaller. Next year, people are looking at a crop of 14.2 billion bushels here in the U.S. and a carryout of 2,300, which would be negative to prices. Over the wheat, not much change. Most analysts agree with the USDA's guesstimate of the carryout at 911. For next year, a crop at 2,150 could increase the carryout to 1,075 million bushels. Export sales, about 1 million tons of beans, maybe 500, 600,000 tons of corn, and 300 to 400,000 tons of wheat. These numbers are pretty close to what we did last week, but still on par to be below what the USDA is suggesting as far as export sales are concerned. Weather-wise, we've got some rains moving across the Midwest in the next couple of days. Long-range maps continue to suggest normal to above temps, normal rains. And down in South America, mostly favorable conditions. A little dry in northwest Brazil, a little too much rain in southern Brazil. But as we mentioned yesterday, USDA did not change the Brazil or Argentina soybean crop numbers. Funds still short about 50,000 beans, 80,000 corn, and close to a record 73,000 wheat. As always, these are my thoughts, not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services, and have a safe and profitable trading day.